All right, who's doing the tease for this one?
Wait a minute. Wait. I got. No, I got nothing. I'm sorry.
They greenlit the sequel without a story in mind. They just wanted to equal an unexpected gold mine. He said, oh no, as Heston said, I got to go. These are just some of the facts you ought to know as we go. Beneath the minute of the apes. Beneath the minute of the apes. Beneath the minute of the apes.
The only good human is a dead human.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes films, 1 minute at a time. It's Thursday. I'm Todd. We are on minute 59. Yes. Guess who I've got? Drum roll, please. Richard and Sean.
Hey.
As always, I know that was a surprise for everyone who's listening.
Shock.
Thursday, do we need to do any housekeeping to start this off, or do we just want to jump right into this riveting moment?
Let's get this thing over with.
I feel so bad that we're to that point. Have we done that to you?
What?
That this is not constructed all that well, and you're seeing this for the first time. Are we ruining it for you in any way?
No, I think it would have been ruined anyways if I even just watched it straight through.
I did see somebody on social media not too long ago. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are covering Beneath. It's my favorite of the films. And I was like, okay. I'd honestly never met anyone that said that.
And then you hear the record scratch.
But what I would love is that person, and forgive me, I don't recall your name. Tweet us. Let us know why you love this film so much. You know what? We might have you on to talk with us about it. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
All right. So enough teasing of that. Minute 59. My friend, tell us what's going on.
We start minute 59 with Brent running back to the church doors and ends with a crossfade of the telepath and the rock wall.
All right. Let's take a listen to minute 59.
What did you say? What do you mean there's no point? Well, they hurt her. Oh, maybe not physically, but here. Here, you can hurt here, I know. Your lips don't move, but I can hear. No, I mean, I know what you're thinking. Nothing. I saw nothing.
All right, as of minute 59, we have 3 living humans, 1 praying human, 4 dead humans, 1 dead ape, a shrewdness of apes, and a gaggle of humans.
I love that you added the praying human.
We have another character.
We have a praying human. Is that like a praying mantis?
Sort of.
We do. I mean, we see Brent run to the door, and now his hood is down, and 2 seconds in, and we actually see him turn and revealed.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, hey, that's a human.
So
one that can speak.
And what's kind of funny, did you notice how quickly the bomb has descended into the floor in a matter of about 2 seconds?
Oh, geez. No, I hadn't.
Oh, it has. I didn't even realize that. Look at that.
This elevator goes down.
Well, I didn't even notice that, honestly. Yeah. But
it doesn't make any sound. It makes me wonder if they didn't cut something of it actually going down
to show that moment.
But
I mean,
it literally is a cut, and it's dunk.
I mean, it's not in the script, but that also means that they have mechanics. I mean, they have mechanics. They have hydraulics.
Yeah.
They have some system in place to actually move this bomb besides just,
pulley and tackle,
polishing it every so often.
They polish it. They have to lower it down so they can get to the top and clean it.
What do they have? Almost like 3PO in the oil bath?
Oil bath, yeah.
And it just sort of descends, and when he comes up, he's a little shinier.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank the maker.
Richard's reading through the script.
No, I just wanted to see if they made a direction specifically about the missile being.
Nothing's mentioned.
Nothing's mentioned about the missile kind of dropping down or anything outside of the description of what the missile is itself.
I know that would be a stop down to have it descend, and why do you really need it to descend? But this film does feel like they want to get to the next action so quick that they're not allowing those moments to let it breathe and let us digest. You want those moments so you can say, okay, I kind of get what's going on. Instead, we're almost immediately taken from what we had before to now with this dude doing the bewitched action of nodding and
I had mentioned that moment where, Brent
think
says
Genie
last
had
minute
one,
where
right?
Brent says in a
Genie,
church, and he says Nova, a flurry of scratches behind him. And then in this scene as well, we're supposed to actually have a moment of Nova pounding on the door. We never hear any of that, do we?
No.
Nope.
We don't. Nova's just gone, right? I don't remember her actually trying to get into the door.
She's removed from the story almost entirely at this point.
Yeah, we're supposed to actually see her trying to get into the door.
Okay, so I kind of get why you cut that, because now you're in a new place with she's not needed at this point, and especially because you've ended her narrative by effectively putting her outside. How do you reintroduce it?
But it gives a reason for him to move to the door. It gives him a reason to move back and forth between those two places if he's actually trying to get to her
Right.
and help her.
Yeah,
it
but
makes his actions make a little more sense.
Again, she should still be scared of him, even though they never had her indicate that.
Well, now she's in the middle of a darkened cavern,
She's all alone.
all alone with a
Guy who tried to drown her just a minute ago.
Yeah. So we said before, wouldn't it have been nice if they had the whispering voices talking to him?
Mm-hmm.
How would the mind control people control someone who can't speak? Well, we just hear.
So we mentioned mind control, but I assume that the audience is supposed to pick that up just based upon this conversation that now happens between Brent and this unnamed person. Should we name this person? I mean, it's in the script.
It's I've got the name here too of the actor and
the name of the character
and the name of the character. I have it. Is
Okay.
it Verger or Verger?
I would say Verger.
Okay,
but
Verger.
I would say Verger.
So while we're talking about him, let's talk about who the actor is. That is Gregory Sierra. He was born in 1941. He is still working today.
Oh, wow.
Credits began in 1969, and as I said, current to today. He was a regular on Sanford and Son as well as Barney Miller, and I know him from Soap.
All right.
He also played Mr. Diamond on the X-Files episode The Jersey Devil.
Okay.
So the man, I mean, it is littered with tons of character roles.
Yeah.
This was his first film role.
Well, I was going to say 69. He just started. He's new at this.
He had done a few television things, and this was his first film.
So 41 to 69. So he was 28. He does not look that young.
No, he doesn't. But he also,
He had a very mature face.
if you look at his more current picture, you will see that he's one of those people that probably always looked
old.
a little older than he is.
So it says the description is the whole cathedral is flooded with white, bright light under which Brent confronts the advancing Verger, while outside Nova's panning on the double door relentless continues. But before Verger has reached Brent, the pounding stops, short to a scuffle of footsteps outside. We hear sounds of a struggle. Brent races to the double door, then inexplicably stops short and looks back over his shoulder. A tall man of indecipherable age, he shares facial characteristics common to all the city's denizens.
What city?
Well, that says it. I guess it's a description for the director as opposed to the. I mean, if this were a novelization, it wouldn't make any sense, right?
Right.
Great beauty, an unwrinkled skin, deep-set eyes, and shadowed sockets, and that significantly accentuated definition of the lip line, which in men and women of our own day is often accounted sexy.
What the
Okay,
heck?
until
I
he
would
got-
not say
We are
he's
about to
sexy.
learn one other remarkable attribute which he shares with his fellows.
But up to that point, they'd done a really, almost ageless, and we just talked about how he looked older than. But really, who are the casting director? It's like they went, okay, I don't care about the last three lines. Just give me somebody that looks older than they are.
Slightly accentuated definition of the lip line, which in men and women of our own day is often accounted as sexy.
I want to tell you both. You both have accentuated lip lines.
Oh, sexy.
even with this growth on my face.
Even with it. So
I do find his features pronounced,
and
I
they're
thought
very interesting.
He was a very interesting looking person.
And also, when we consider how many we've recast our lead to look like our previous lead, we at least have someone
Somebody
that looks different. They're easily discernible from our lead.
I'll be honest, because of the darker eyes, the inset of the sockets, the slightly darker pigment of his skin than, say, sunburned Brenton Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
I would not necessarily know whether this was somebody who was savage at one point or somebody who was not savage at one point.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like if we took the cloak off and put him in one of those savage diapers and have him run around, he could look like he would just be one of the humans that are mute outside.
Can I find savage diapers on my shelves at Kroger's?
Yes, you can find those in your shelves at Kroger. They come in a 3-pack.
So So at this point, he begins to do something that I have a theory why they do this, but we hear the
beeping,
the gnats.
We hear the gnat noise. Yeah,
and
exactly.
He nods every time we hear it. So is that their attempt to now explain what the gnat sound was before?
Possibly. I mean, Brent immediately responds, "What did you say?" And we're like, "We didn't say anything."
Yeah, we're starting to get the one-sided telephone call.
Yeah, it's a weird thing again without any voice for just
Yeah.
and why isn't the tone vary? Anything like that. That instead it's just a buzz.
So after the moment where you hear the buzz and Brent says, "What did you say?" Verger actually takes a couple of steps towards Brent as if trying to bring him in, lure him in, get his attention a little bit more.
I'm sorry, Sean and I were both yawning while you talk. Sean brought yawns to the table, and it is true. Once a yawn occurs, you can't let it go.
I'm sharing it with everybody.
Richard, you're next. Well, it's a continuation of the oddness of the choice of telepathy. However, I don't have a way to research this. How many films before this had really tried telepathy? I'm sure there are countless science fiction films that probably had.
Sure, but I wouldn't know.
But there's not a lot of precedents for how to do it. It just... how well did this speak to audiences at that time?
It just feels lazy. I don't know why.
And I feel like, and it may be in this minute or the next, and I think it's actually later, where he almost has a line that's akin to, "I can hear you, but you're not moving your lips."
Yeah.
That should happen right now. That should happen at this very minute. So that as an audience member, I understand.
It is in this minute.
It is this minute?
It is in this minute.
He should be looking around in confusion. He's hearing a voice in his head. What?
Right.
Instead of assuming that this guy is one talking.
Right. And to to apologize to everyone again, we put the minutes in post, so I'm not just being insane. I haven't listened to the minute right now. I watched it a couple of days ago, so I did not have a note of that. That's good if they're going to at least have him explain that. But you're right. He should be having...
Because if I heard a voice in my head, I wouldn't automatically assume it's the other person there.
Right. So when he says, "What did you say?" Verger does another gnat thing, and he goes, "What do you mean there's no point? Will they hurt her?" Verger makes a moment, maybe not physically, but you can hurt here, hitting his own head. I know. What's interesting is they really kind of were getting half this conversation, and I never picked up that they were talking about Nova. I had no idea what that whole scuffle outside, everything like that. It felt like it got edited in such a way that we don't really get. They took out that relevancy that he's just talking about something random. It was very I don't know what the conversation's going on.
Well, now why doesn't the gnat sound hurt anymore either? Why isn't he in pain when he's hearing it? Before was he? Because the sound before was louder and more piercing. So was he hearing multiple voices before, and now he's simply hearing the singularity of this person talking to him?
Or maybe it's whenever you take control of somebody's mind and make them do something else, you have to be louder, and it's physically painful.
So, I mean, what would you do other than that buzz noise if you're trying to figure this out? Do you put an echo on his voice, and it's just almost like whispers over itself, where you can't even discern what he's saying because you can, but you can't?
Yeah.
How would you do that?
That would have been really, really nice. But I mean, maybe they're just trying to connect that sound. I mean, that's the only thing. They're trying to connect that gnat sound.
And again, without a precedent, if you're the first one to the party of trying to do telepathy in this manner, then your choices are limited. You've not thought these things through. And so for that, they did an okay job. But
whispers would have been really, really nice. Muffled whispers where there are multiple things being said all at once. You can I hear some words.
Right.
That would give us a little more of what he's talking about, because I don't know what what he's responding to, when his dialogue doesn't even make any sense until he goes, your lips don't move, but I can hear. I mean, I know what you're thinking.
How does he know what you're thinking? How does he know what the telepath is thinking?
Well, then there's a moment towards the end of the minute where Verger, it says his smile vanishes, which he never did. Well, he never had a smile, but you do see him kind of become a little bit more stern. And Brent says, "I saw nothing. Nothing. I saw nothing. You were in darkness." So Nothing, I saw nothing.